Welcome back to Money Channel. I'm your host, Erin, and today I'm going to talk about hustling and the grind. So, keep in mind, I always have to say this, I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own due diligence and you must know your own lifestyle and energy, okay? So, as Kevin Samuels and Anton have always said in the past, you must be on your grind, okay? Gentlemen, there is no excuse why you can't afford certain things when you are single and you have all the time in the world, okay? You don't have kids, you don't have a family, you literally can work 60 to 80 hours per week, okay? So I'm a prime example of that because last night I was fixing up my logo for this channel. Okay, I was literally designing logos like, okay, which logo is best, da 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 da, while looking at the stocks, okay, looking at ticker symbol NVDL, as I've been watching for about 2 weeks now. So today, I am exhausted, okay? I literally only got 4 hours of sleep from last night. And of course, I was listening to Anton Daniels, going through self improvement as well, designing the new logo for this channel. So I got only 4 hours of sleep. Then I went to my full time normal job, my W 2, and then now I'm filming. And then after this, in the next 2 hours, Anton Daniels will be live on Patreon, which I expect to be there. Okay, so that's what I'm working on at the current moment today. So you have to be on your grind and hustle. It is for me annoying to see videos on YouTube that women are complaining like, "Oh, I just want a man with money." Oh, da 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 da. Yes, we are currently in an economic situation that we have not encountered before in the past, and this is like the new norm or new era. However, if you're on your grind, and not just gentlemen, but ladies too, okay? So the only difference is that women may not be able to sustain the longevity of working so many hours. We do eventually break down and complain, okay? Men should be able to sustain it a little bit longer. So women, as Anton Daniels would say, are just not built for that. But yes, we have to be on our hustle and grind. Okay. So, for example, if you're a single woman, yes, you can have a full time job, then a part time job, or a side hustle. We cannot keep saying, oh, I want a man with money. And it's not realistic because, first of all, there's only, by statistically speaking, the top 1% make $150,000 or more per year. Okay, that's the top 1%. Um, and then the top 0.1% make $300,000 per year or more. Okay, so it's not logical. Where are you finding these people making, $150,000 per year, $100,000 per year? It's not logical. Okay, on average, the income in the U.S. is anywhere from like 55,000 to like 65,000, 70,000 on average. Okay, so I don't know where women are getting this. And yes, although this is the money channel and I talk about money, I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about the grind. Okay, we have to be about the grind. So, for example, today I woke up at 5:30. I immediately checked on the stocks because I know that NVDL is moving in pre-market time. After checking on that, then I went to do yoga. After doing yoga, I decided to have breakfast and get started with my day and prepare for going to my regular W 2 job. Okay. And then, of course, I'm checking on stocks during the daytime, okay, throughout the day. So you have to be about the grind. And I know everybody always brings up Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels was an excellent example of the grind, okay? He literally was like, you have to work. This has to be your lifestyle. You have to be willing to give up. For example, if you're in your 20s, you have to be willing to give up a decade, guys. At minimum 5 years, but 5 years to 10 years just to be at least the top, okay, by the time you're 30, 35. I mean, men don't peak until they're about 35 to 40. And then millionaires, you're looking at, you know, 55 on average. So, again, we have to be about the grind. You have to decide, can your body handle it? Are you passionate about what you're doing? For me, I'm trying to increase my energy. I'm literally taking, for example, there's like a yogurt, not a yogurt, but there's like a smoothie. It's a acai smoothie from Publix, and I buy that. Okay, and I'm blending it in my smoothies and everything. So I've noticed that, my energy is extremely high when I'm on acai. Okay, you have to manage your energy levels. Are you dehydrated? I'm always dehydrated because I drink coffee. Okay, so, and I need to drink coffee to keep it going, to keep the energy going. So, today I will probably be awake for at least 15 to 16 hours. I'm not joking, guys, like for at least maybe 15 to 16 hours. So, keep in mind, I only got 4 hours of sleep. So, you have to, again, be willing to grind. Not many people are willing to do that, especially not many women are willing to do that. But yet, we want a man that's already packaged and already made, and we're not willing to go through the grind with him. So, while he is suffering through his 20s and early 30s, we're not willing to have him and stay by him because we want the end product. This doesn't come easy, guys. It's not easy, okay? Behind the scenes, I'm literally working about 60 to 70 hours per week. So, no joke. Between my regular job, then the stock market, I barely have time to film. So, filming is adding 70 hours. Stock market and my regular job is about 65 hours. So there, I barely have time. I mean, honestly. So again, it's just the will, the determination, the ambition. If you have determination, if you have ambition, then yes, you will get there. It's not an easy process, guys. Trust me, it's not easy. Okay. So I mean, I literally have a friend, and I could not believe the story she told me yesterday. It was surreal. She literally said to me, I'm working at a new job. I'm supposed to get my paycheck, but I did not enter the last two digits correctly. And therefore, now I'm not receiving the direct deposit. So now I can't pay my health insurance and car payment. Never be in that position, guys. Okay, if you are part of Anton Daniels bag chasers, you know already that you should have an emergency expense. Okay, the average American does not have $500 to $1,000 in emergency savings, and that's pitiful. So um, we have to be intentional. When it's good, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna keep buying, da 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 da, da, keep buying. I don't know. Okay, all these subscriptions, cut them out. Um, Going out to restaurants, cut that out. Um, Instacart, food deliveries, uh, Uber Eats, cut that out, guys. Cut it out. You could easily save money towards an emergency expense. So, for her, she was in a pickle, in a bind. And for me, unfortunately, I said to her, had I known about the situation, I could have helped you before yesterday morning. Because by that time I spoke to her, it was yesterday afternoon. I was already in a trade on another account because I anticipate an upcoming expense. So I have a second account where I'm currently trading, and that is supposed to be the emergency fund, but there's no real emergency yet. But okay, it's an emergency fund, and I was trading on the second account with that. So I myself could not help her, being that I was already in a trade. So she was in a pickle, in a bind already. And also, make sure you have at least one credit card, because she didn't have a credit card at all. She decided to cut all her credit cards in 2023. So therefore she could not even put the car payment plus the health insurance payment on a credit card. So she had to go to like a credit union to ask for cash advance. So my mind was boggled by this. But keep in mind, yet this is a perfect example of a woman that says, I want a guy with money. And I'm like, here's the Kevin Samuels in me that will come out. You want a man with money, but you're not financially literate. You're not financially fiscal. And at the same time, what does that say about you? Because now it means you're just going to spend the man's money and you have nothing to contribute to the household. So, and she's probably the typical woman. Typically, women, they're going to spend the money and they're going to expect a man to cover the expenses, and they're not thinking about where's the money coming from. Is there money to replenish that? How many of your hours that you have to slave away at a job you don't like, that is blood sucking and draining you, to get that uh, pay, again, per hour, per day, per week, per month? Okay, so whatever you buy has to be worth your blood, sweat, and tears. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go shopping with it, oh, I want to eat out, oh, this, oh, that. It's called self control. Anton Daniels would call it discipline. Okay, so why discipline? Because a man has to think, okay, if he can control his energy, then yes, he can tighten up his belt with money. Okay, he's not going to be everywhere. And a woman has to think about, if she can control her shopping, her urges, her desires, okay, her wants, then she can save in more, like take in more money, save it, and reinvest it. So, um, again, think about what you're taking in, your hard earned money, your blood, sweat, and tears. How much are you worth per hour? Okay, is whatever you're buying worth it per hour? So if you're making, for example, I don't know, guys, I'm throwing in low ball money. Okay, if you're making $20 an hour, low ball money, is whatever you're buying worth $20 per hour of you suffering at that job you don't like, or $25 per hour suffering at that job you don't like? Because it's got to be worth it. So a lot of people are buying, oh, I want new shoes, new Jordans, new Timberlands, new whatever. Okay, new Gucci slides. Is it worth it? The blood, sweat, and tears at a job you don't like, per hour, per day. So again, retracting and summarizing. Make sure you have an emergency expense of $500 to $1,000. You know, what happens if your car decides it doesn't want to work out of nowhere? Now you have an extra expense of car repairs. What happens if, in this case, the direct deposit didn't go through? Okay, just because you have a credit card, don't go crazy spending money on it. And then you have this huge balance. Next, think about, how does it reflect upon your future spouse? Both ways, whether it's a female, looking to get married to a man, or a man looking to get married to a woman, because you're marrying that person's debt. If, for example, all these people are taking out student loans and everything, you think your future spouse is going to want you when you have $100,000 in student loan debt? No offense, but I don't want to marry someone that has $100,000 in student loan debt. And that is the typical Kevin Samuels personality. He's going to tell you, ladies, you got all this student loan debt. It's not, your salary is not going to contribute to the household if you're looking for a high earner. So whatever job you have, the man's never going to see the money. So now you have, the man's never going to see the money. You got $100,000 in debt that he's going to marry, and he's going to look at you like, I'm not trying to pay for your expenses. Please, a typical man's mind is going to be like, I'm not trying to get used for your bad decisions. Nobody told you to take out $100,000 student loan debt. Nobody told you to take out $80,000 in student loan debt. Plus, you got a car payment. How are you going to contribute to the household? Okay. So he doesn't want to be your, like, I guess, you know, you're the, in other words, you're the bill. He doesn't want to be paying the bill. He doesn't want to be paying, if, think of it as you're the credit card, and a man's got to pay the interest payment on the credit card plus the full debt. He doesn't want that. You're not attractive as a woman with $100,000 in debt, and a man's got to pay for your bad decisions. And yes, again, this is not a dating channel, but I'm talking about money, okay? So do everything possible to clear your student loan debt. If you got to take out to have two jobs, a job and a side hustle, do it. Get rid of that student loan debt. After you get rid of the student loan debt, then tackle either the car payment or the credit card. Okay, whichever is higher and has the higher interest rate. Because these interest rates are crazy. We're in a crazy environment where people can't afford their mortgages. The mortgage has literally doubled in the last 7 years. Nobody takes into account HOA fees, okay? Nobody takes into account if you're living in a state where there's lots of hurricane or weather damage, the housing insurance or home insurance companies are pulling out. They don't want to take that risk because it's going to bankrupt them. So they're pulling out of that state. So now you're left with a home that is not insured, that can be easily damaged by a natural disaster, whether it's a hurricane or earthquake or whatever, and you put all your life savings and money and hard work into that. And all these people are going on 30-year mortgages. Why the heck would you take on a 30-year mortgage? This is insane, guys. Like, you're, by the time, if you're lucky, by the time you're just paying that debt, that home, the home mortgage, sorry, the mortgage, you're gonna be like 70 years old, if that, because you're gonna be 70 years old. Okay, so you may have to work until you're like 80 if you're even living that long. This is insane, guys. So everybody wants to drive the BMW, the Mercedes. Let me break it down for you. A BMW right now, if you have car payments, car repairs, let's talk about the car repairs. If anything happens to a BMW, you're looking at $2,000 in car parts, okay? Just to get the car parts from Germany or from Europe, and it's gonna get hit with tariffs into the US, and now it has to be redistributed within the US. So car parts already on a BMW or Mercedes, they're expensive. And then the cost of labor, okay? So it's not even logical to get luxurious cars that are not American at the current moment. And then you have the car payment, then repairs on top of that. Then you got this mortgage that nobody can afford. You got an insurance that might be pulling out of that particular state, high interest rates. None of it makes any sense, guys. So, but yet people still want to show off and get all these sugar daddies and talk about, oh, I need a man to pay. Oh, a man should mow my lawn for the first date. What kind of nonsense is this, guys? This is like you're a freebie all for person because you want a man to mow your lawn. Nobody told you to have kids out of wedlock and not get married. Okay, you need two incomes now. And again, I'm not judging anyone, but I'm looking at expenses, money. Okay, nobody told you to have kids out of wedlock, which is a poor decision on your part. And now, because there's no man in your life, you want whoever dates you to mow your lawn to show worthy. What? He doesn't need to show he's worthy by mowing your lawn. He can go to a woman that doesn't have kids to and or doesn't have this request of mowing your lawn, okay, fixing your bathroom sink because you can't do it. So you got to look at it this way. Either gain the skill to do it yourself, to fix it yourself, get a friend, a brother, save up money for emergency expenses like, for example, if you need to hire a person to mow your lawn or fix your sink, save up that expense. But you got to look at your lifestyle and get rid of things you don't need. Get rid of, again, the subscriptions, get rid of Uber Eats, get rid of Instacart, get rid of, even if, for example, you love Amazon or Apple TV, get rid of those as well. You don't need Apple TV. You don't need all of that. Because by the time you're done and you look at the cost of all your subscriptions total, chances are you're spending $300 to $400 a month and you don't even realize it. And I'm pausing for effect right now, okay? So look at all your subscriptions. So you got to decide if your lifestyle is on par with how much you make, okay? And if it's not, again, get rid of the things you don't need and get a side hustle. Be willing to grind, okay? It is a hustle economy now. Most people have 2 to 4 jobs now. This is the current normal until hopefully interest rates go down, until hopefully housing goes down. Who knows? But at the current moment, this is the new normal, okay? So, I'm hustling just so that I can actually buy the things I want. Like that. So, unfortunately, I do have credit card debts. I'm normal like everyone else. So, what my goal is to use my hustle money that I'm trading in the stock market to buy what I want with, and then my main money from my job to tackle down the credit card debt. So at least I have a plan there. Make a plan, have goals, write it down somewhere, stick to it. Okay? So, once again, this is what I've got for you. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Ciao, guys.